teachers seemed not ready for reopening.
Do things right. Yes, please. We have been communicating all a long time that schools open the 10th. And they were expected to have come back 2 weeks before to organize for today. How come not even a timetable? How come such an important office looks like this? Not ready for anything.
State Minister for Education Dr. John Chrysostom Muyingo and ministry officials visited Chitante Primary School in Kampala, Kira Primary School and Kira Secondary School in Wakiso District.
But otherwise, it's been very encouraging to see the big turn up in some schools, and I would say I've been disappointed somewhere where the turn up has not been adequately good. But I'm appealing to all the parents to send their children tomorrow to school.
He said that the visit was to monitor compliance with SOPs. He commended teachers for consistency and hinted on the new curriculum and the need to catch up with the new syllabus. He cautioned proprietors of schools against increasing school fees in this period. We interacted with some head teachers and commended government for reopening the schools, although they had challenges.
Yes, it is. Now we need more money to renovate the school. We've seen, as we've seen the classrooms, we need to renovate, we need to put floor, we want water tanks to have all of that water and in fact
that are required for the safe reopening of the school, and we have complied with all the COVID-19 regulations.
Shaidat in Nasaku, Fred Kasibante, UBC News.
Thank you so much, Shaida Naseko and Fred Kasibante. Minister of State for Education, Dr. Joyce Moriko Kaduchu, has warned school administrators not to change the school fee structure. She cautioned school heads, teachers and board of directors against subjecting parents to double payment. Hilda reports.
Today is the second. Learners are back to physical learning. But State Minister for Education, Dr. Joyce Moriko Kaduchu, warned schools against hiking fees. She reiterated the government's resolution to school proprietors not to charge more fees to senior 2 students.
And those who have completed all school dues, the senior 3s, and the guideline is that we should not subject the parents to pay again. Those who have paid half, they should complete the half remaining. While for the rest of the classes, let the dues, the school fees charges, we maintain what we were by then.
Teachers also have had refresher sessions to enable them catch up with the new curriculum.
Because there are a lot of issues going around psychologically, socially, mentally, and the mindset change, we need to bring the teachers back on board. The training that was offered last year, of course, is not adequate. This will need continuous capacity building as we continue rolling out the curriculum.
Meanwhile, teenage pregnancies seems to be a challenge to school heads, although the ministry has come up with a policy of allowing them in school for the first 3 months.
If a girl gotten pregnant and has delivered, is given that period for exclusive breastfeeding. After breastfeeding, because we also want to avoid malnutrition in that baby and in the mother.
Minister Kaduchu puts more light on the issue of capitation grant, where some school heads are complaining funds available are insufficient.
We issued guidelines to the chief administrative officers, giving directives as to how we can use those funds. It has been indicated clearly 1.5 million need to be sent to each and every government schools, which will be used for standard operating procedures maintaining.
Mutoni Hilda, UBC.
Now, government has been urged to rethink its decision of allowing pregnant girls back in school, but make thorough research through consulting the affected girl child to hear their point of view. Although education experts agree that pregnant girls should be given a chance to go back to school, the Director of Wikisa Ministries, Vivian Chicho, says that the chance should be given to the girls after they've given birth, because the social stigma will push them out of school. Farida Nafuka with a report.
As a chance to first give birth, then go back to school, because really somebody being in school when the person is pregnant, that's very awkward.
Scared of labor pain, yeah? So it can catch me during class time, so all the problems are there.
These are voices of pregnant girls between the age of 13 to 19 sharing their views about the government decision to allow them go back to school in this delicate condition. Most of these were impregnated during the COVID-19 lockdown, with the biggest percentage sexually assaulted by their own relatives, especially fathers, because schools were under lockdown. Ministry of Education and Sports released guidelines to schools for the re-entry of these pregnant girls, which stresses many to go on mandatory leave when they are at least 3 months pregnant.
Has guided that these girls should be encouraged and allowed to complete their end-of-year examinations despite being pregnant, as long as the girl wishes to sit for end-of-year examinations.
Pregnant women get fevers. They have this on, up and down kind of feeling, different temperatures. Is there a school nurse who is ready to treat these girls?
Experts say pregnant girls being allowed back in school is not a new phenomenon, but renewed with the escalating of numbers of pregnancies during the lockdown. Some school heads say they will not allow pregnant girls in their premises because it sends a bad image to the rest of the students. Dr. Dina Amongin, the lecturer at Makerere University, holds a different view on the alleged stigma, emphasizing the need to make a decision and cope up with the situation.
We cannot allow students who are pregnant to study with those who are not pregnant. I will request that let them deliver first, and then afterwards they will come back and study. That chance will be given to them.
The issue of saying they will be stigmatized in the school, I want us to remember that these girls come from the same community. The same people she's with in the school are mainly the same people with she is in the community. And by the time a girl decides she wants to continue with her education, she has thought through this.
The founder of Wikisa Ministries, an organization that looks after pregnant girls, Vivian Chitio, says the social stigma, which involves teasing, bullying, and the girls feeling different from the rest of the students, will not allow them concentrate.
This is a pregnant girl. If there is an unkind group of girls or boys, they would find a good reason to follow you up and bully you until you are ready to commit suicide. Let me tell you, the suicide levels would go up, the rates would go up, because these girls would go home feeling so bad.
Dr. Dina and Vivian both agree that the girls are victims of sexual abuse, with one emphasizing that they should not be hit more by denying them education, while the others say they should not push them to school in that condition.
Let's support them in re-entry. No school should be shutting their gate to any girl because she's pregnant or she has given birth. No, 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 no. No. We cannot be participants in crushing this girl's father.
Now asking them to go when they are like that, you're asking them to go to hell, I think. It's hard. It's not a real... We are high above there, but we've got to come down to the ground, talk to these girls.
These girls are abused by men because they lack the basic necessities which their parents fail to provide, and fall victims of defilement.
The sanitary pads, the underwear, the petticoats, all those basics, they are lacking those basics, and that is why they end up with sexual partners, and they unfortunately end up with a pregnancy. So it was not their doing in the first place. It is not about bad behavior from the girls.
Having these girls back in school will help prevent more pregnancies and support human development in the country. I'm Nafka Farida and Stephen Kalisia in Kampala.
Thank you so much, Nafka Farida, for that wonderful story. Moving on, still about schools, private school owners are calling upon parents to report school administrators to discuss pupils returning to school. The director, Bethel Emma Nursery's Day and Boarding Primary School in Budnamwaya, Wakiso, says that they promise to allow parents paying installments.
Schools have opened, although the turn-up is still low compared to previous term opening. The parents seem tied up with clearing school dues, and there is need for pupils to cover all they have lost during the pandemic. Emmanuel Tuliagenda, Director Bethel Emma Nursery Day and Boarding Primary School in Bunamwaya, Wakiso, says observing Ministry of Health SOPs and Ministry of Education and Sports guidelines is crucial.
School is safe, the SOPs are in place, we have the sanitizers, we have the facilities for washing hands, and we are encouraging the pupils to put on masks such that we study in a safe environment. We have an isolation room, and we encourage parents not to fear but to bring children to school.
The head teacher, Bethel Emma Nursery Day and Boarding Primary School, says they have had a number of counseling sessions to prepare teachers on how to deal with stigma.
As teachers, we have prepared to take on these children who have been at home for quite long. One, we have had a number of counseling sessions as teachers, so we are going to use that knowledge that we have acquired from those workshops such that we first extend the counseling sessions to our children, because we know they are not all that prepared since they have been at home for quite long. So we shall begin by counseling them such that we bring their minds back to school.
Now, the school reopening has entered the second day with a huge number of pupils and students from primary and secondary reporting for studies in Kagadi district schools, with teachers sitting at the chalkboards teaching. While in Rubaya sub-county in Kashari North Mbara district, studies have failed to kick off at Transinga primary school due to dilapidated structures and condemned 7 classrooms not habitable for students. The office of the head teacher was recently destroyed by a hailstorm, and we have more on this devastating story.
In Kagadi district, the story is different. School managements were overwhelmed with the number of students reporting for classes and the readiness of teachers to teach. At Kagadi government-aided secondary school in Kagadi district, there was a beehive of activity as teachers were busy teaching students in different classes while other students were still reporting.
Because we are around 70% in terms of our students enrollment, those who have reported. So we expect more to come within this week. And as the government is emphasizing, and the ministry, we have also tried to put some facilities, especially water points.
Meanwhile, in Kashari North Mbara district, Ranchiga Primary School is in trouble. The reporting of pupils on day 2 has hit a snag due to the dilapidated structures that have been condemned for habitation of pupils for studies. 7 classroom blocks are condemned, putting the school management in a dilemma. The head teacher, Ranchiga Primary School, Pyson Karuhanga, appealed to the government and all well-wishers to give support for reconstruction of dilapidated and the condemned 7 classrooms and administration office to attract the big percentage of the learners missing in the school.
Is that the 7 classrooms were blown off by wind, and the head teacher's office inclusive. So we are now appealing to government officials and other stakeholders to really to come and give us a hand so that we put up, so that new structures can be put up, and then where learners can really can study from.
RDC Mbarara Mbetejerize Godfrey, who visited the school, said the structures that collapsed were already condemned, and report on the existing condition of the school has been made and delivered to the office of the Prime Minister, Ministry of Education.
But it was already condemned because the building is old and it has already lost the value. Fortunately, the good news is that the district is planning to construct 2 classrooms, and the report was taken to the office of the Prime Minister, disaster preparedness. We are hoping for the best. But besides that, we are mobilizing the communities, especially the OBs and leaders of this area, to come and give support, especially to have some temporary structures here. And I'm also going to call upon some...
In a related development, the head teacher, Rantsinga High School, Rubaya Mbarara Francis Turiahebwa, Uganda, was happy to find out of 700 learners, over 560 have reported because of the conducive environment for the students to learn. Here, the capitation grants were put to better use to improve on the quality of infrastructure and promised observance of standard operating procedures. Turia Habwe says an isolation room has been identified for the learners where social distancing will be observed to counter any outbreak of a COVID-19 case.
Pay school fees conveniently using MTN Momo. Dial *165 *80 hash. Enter the student code provided by the school. It will show you the student name and the class plus outstanding balance. Enter the amount you want to pay. Enter PIN. You will get a notification confirming payment. It's simple, secure, and convenient.
Everywhere you go, MTN. Raising voices.
I feel happy when my father spends time with me. I hope all fathers will like my father. I want my father to reach out to all fathers. He knows how important it is to be a good father. I promise to help my father inspire other fathers to change.
In this time of COVID, what is your promise to the children of Uganda? Because a violence-free childhood is everyone's right. Raising voices.
Enjoy convenience today with Airtel Money School Pay, FlexiPay, or Bridge Schools. To pay school fees using FlexiPay, dial *185 hash. Select option 6 School Fees. Select option 3 FlexiPay. Enter the school code. Enter the student number. Enter the amount. Enter the PIN number to complete payment. Pay school fees conveniently using Airtel Money. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Parents, guardians and caregivers, there's a confirmed polio outbreak in Kampala, and therefore the Ministry of Health will conduct a national house-to-house polio immunization campaign. The first round of the campaign will take place from Friday the 14th of January to Sunday the 16th of January 2022 in all districts of Uganda. During the national house-to-house polio immunization campaign, health workers will come to your homes and immunize all your children under 5 years of age. Please note that the national house-to-house polio immunization campaign does not replace the routine immunization. The polio vaccine is safe, effective, and free.
Parents, guardians and caregivers, please ensure that all your children under 5 years of age are immunized against polio during the National House-to-House Immunization Campaign from Friday 14th January to Sunday 16th January 2022. The dates for the second round of the campaign will be announced in due course. This message is from the Ministry of Health with support from UNICEF, World Health Organization and partners.
Transact and win money after money with Airtel Money. 1.5 billion shillings in cash prizes up for grabs. more you transact, the higher your chances of winning. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Parents, guardians and caregivers, there's a confirmed polio outbreak in Kampala, and therefore the Ministry of Health will conduct a national house-to-house polio immunization campaign. The first round of the campaign will take place from Friday the 14th of January to Sunday the 16th of January 2022 in all districts of Uganda. During the national house-to-house polio immunization campaign, health workers will come to your homes and immunize all your children under 5 years of age. Please note that the national house-to-house polio immunization campaign does not replace the routine immunization. The polio vaccine is safe, effective, and free.
Parents, guardians and caregivers, please ensure that all your children under 5 years of age are immunized against polio during the National House-to-House Immunization Campaign from Friday 14th January to Sunday 16th January 2022. The dates for the second round of the campaign will be announced in due course. This message is from the Ministry of Health with support from UNICEF, World Health Organization and partners.
You're still watching UBC News Tonight. In more news, intern nurses and midwives have threatened another sit-down strike if their salaries are not rectified. This follows an understanding from the Ministry of Health to increase the salary from Ugandan shillings 750,000 to 2.4 Ugandan shillings, 2.4 million Ugandan shillings, which they say that the ministry only paid 1.5 million.
Intern nurses and midwives have taken another stance following Ministry of Health failure to honor the presidential directive on their salary. In May and November last year, nurses strike over unfair pay that was not reflected on the scale upon how much salary they are to earn as intern nurses and midwives. After the recent strike, they agreed with the ministry following the president's directive, which they say did not yield to their expectation. They threatened to strike.
Will come to play. Because July is coming in. If this is how you're doing it a few months before to our people, then it means you are going to dishonor the collective bargaining agreement. Come July, nurses will sit down and seek correction, and we shall only come back if the correction has been made.
There is a claim that the ministry has failed to understand the difference between intern diploma and degree holders to determine the right pay.
Graduate nurse is a nursing officer. A nursing officer is a graduate nurse. So I think that is, in relation to interns, that is the confusion, you get? Because the whole figure of 1.5 is half of 3 million. But that is not the pay for a graduate nurse. It is the pay for a diploma nurse who is an assistant nursing officer. And the word assistant really does not communicate the word nursing officer. They are not synonyms. So that is the confusion, that is the gap, that reluctance to admit that fact.
They have set the ministry 15th January as the deadline.
By 15th, something will come up that will inform our decision of whether or not to continue with the industrial action.
A letter from the Prime Minister's office shows graduate nurses and midwives are entitled to a salary of 2 million shillings, half of the money a nursing officer is earning, of which they receive 1.5 million shillings. Shaidat in Nasaku, UBC News.
High Court Civil Division has set the 18th of March 2022 to deliver judgment in a case filed by a non-government organization called Chapter 4 Uganda, challenging the suspension of their activities by the NGO's Bureau. This followed when all the parties filed their written submissions in the matters ordered by the presiding judge, Musa Sekana, in the previous court sitting. Nama Monde has more details on this report.
Following the suspension of 15 non-government organizations by the NGO's Bureau, including Chapter 4 Uganda, that filed a suit in the High Court Civil Division Kampala against the Attorney General challenging the move. On 2nd December 2021, two parties, including Chapter 4 Uganda and the respondent in this matter, Attorney General, were ordered by the presiding judge Musa Sekana to file written submissions, after which he will pronounce his decision to their matter. Tuesday afternoon, Chapter 4 representatives, led by Councillor Stone Gulume, have appeared before Judge Musa Sekana for the mention of the case. It's against this backdrop that Councillor Gulme prayed to court to fix the matter for judgment, saying all parties have fulfilled their requirements. In the chambers where the press was denied access, Councillor Gulme informed the media that court adhered to their request and fixed the 18th of March 2022 for delivering its judgment in this matter.
We filed for Chapter 4, filed its submissions on 7th December. The NGO Bureau filed its reply on 21st December and rejoined on 23rd December. But because of the COVID situation we are still in, that ruling is going to be delivered by email.
According to Chapter 4 Uganda, NGO's Bureau suspending its activities was unlawful, arbitrary and illegal, and the acts were without factual basis on grounds leading to the closure of the organization. In the letter dated 8th August 2021, the NGO's Bureau in suspending these non-government organization activities alleged failure to comply with the NGOs Act 2016, among other reasons. In this case, the respondent, the Attorney General, was represented by Council Charity Navasa. Meanwhile, Buganda Road Magistrates Court has charged and remanded a prominent novelist, Kaku, on 2 counts of offensive communication. Prosecution alleges that, through his Twitter handle, Kakwenza Rukira, the accused, willfully and repeatedly disturbed the peace of the President of Uganda, General Kaguta Museveni, and the Commander UPDF Land Forces, Lieutenant General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, with no purpose of legitimate communication. Although the media was not present in court, according to UBC's reliable sources, Kakwenza Rukira pleaded not guilty to the alleged offences. State after charge, however, informed court that inquiries are still ongoing, thus asking court for more time. Basing on prosecution's prayers, Chief Magistrate Douglas Singiza remanded the accused to Kitala Government Prison until the 21st of January 2022 formation of the case. Since the accused's legal team was also absent in court, UBC has tried to talk to one of Kakwenza's lawyer, Limbas Nalukola, on phone, and he had this to say about the detention of their client.
But we cannot confirm that it is true. That's why we have written a letter requesting for record of proceedings to ascertain and confirm whether it is true that he appeared before a magistrate and that he was remanded at Titalia. But we are so concerned that he was not allowed to have legal services from his able lawyers.
Kakwenza Rukira was arrested on the 28th of December 2021 by security operatives from his home in Chisas, Kampala. Nantongo Rebecca, Namamonde Deborah, UBC News.
The Anti-Corruption Grade 1 Magistrates Court has charged the Uganda Land Commission Chairperson Beatrice Biencha with 2 counts of abuse of office and obstruction of search. The accused Beatrice Biencha appeared in court on scratches, pleaded non-guilty. However, court granted her a cash bail of 4 million Ugandan shillings each with her 2 bodyguards. The 4 are accused of obstructing officers from the IGG's office to carry a search in the Chairperson Uganda Land Commission office.
The 4 accused persons, the Chairperson Land Commission, Beatrice Biencha, a bodyguards Police Constable Angwari Richard, Police Constable Titus Wamono, and Police Constable Edward Tuliatunga, have appeared before Grade 1 Anti-Corruption Court in Kororo. Beatrice Biencha, who appeared in court on crashes, was limping. She was charged with 2 counts of abuse of office and obstruction of search. She pleaded not guilty to the offences. Beatrice Biencha lawyer, Isingoma Patrick, applied for bail by presenting 5 sureties. Although other prayers were objected by counsel for the state, Dr. Ernest Sije saying she will interfere with the investigations.
Your Honor, the circumstances comprised in the charges are events that took place at office where she was, implying that she had resumed work. The only plausible explanations to this are that either she had recovered and no longer, and this medical report no longer applied.
Since Nyakaisiki's private guards were charged last week with the same offences, they also appeared in court today for their bail application. However, state objected to all the accused sureties.
The fixed places of the board, that is A1, A2, A3 and A4. The worship, they have sureties.
The presiding magistrate Joan Achio later granted the 3 accused persons bail.
The other sureties, it is not a fast and hard rule, let alone it being a condition for them to present members of their profession, let alone of a higher rank. Each accused person is going to make a cash deposit of 4 million shillings, and then each surety is going to enter a non-cash bond of 35 million shillings.
However, court declined to grant bail to Edward Tuliatunga since he failed to present substantial sureties to court.
To wit, Bahati Ibrahim, who this court finds substantial, but goes ahead to deny A4 bail unless he presents at least one more surety onto that who has been found substantial.
Prosecution alleges that on 4th January 2022 at Uganda Land Commission in Kampala district, the accused obstructed Tumukulate Mike, Zakaria Tebelindwa and Superintendent of Police Noreen Yakero, all from the Inspectorate of Government Office, from carrying out a search in the office of the Chairperson Land Commission, Beatrice Biencha Nyakaisiki. The alleged search in Nyakaisiki's office by the IGG's office was meant to investigate the misconduct and abuse of office charges against her and Mr. Baba Imario. Court resumed on 17th January 2022. Deborah Namamonde, Nantongo Rebecca, UBC News.
Still from Deborah and Nantongo, Nakawa's Magistrates Court has failed to commit the 8 suspects in the attempted murder of General Edward Katumba Wamala to International Crime Division Court. This follows prosecution bringing fresh charges against the accused, totally different from the charges they were accused of before. Now, the accused, through their lawyer Geoffrey Tuliamsima, objected to the prosecution priors, informing court that it's illegal and infringing on the accused's right to fair hearing. Although prosecutor Barbara Chomjishe was given time to highlight on this issue, this was in vain, thus prompting the presiding magistrate Ponsiano Dwori to adjourn the matter until tomorrow, the 12th of January 2022, for state to explain to court why they had to slap the accused with fresh charges during committal. The 8 accused persons in this matter are facing charges of attempted murder of General Katumba Wamala, murder of his daughter Brenda Nantongo, and driver Haruna Kayondo.
You know, in the earlier sessions when we appeared in court, not all of them that were charged of the same offences. For example, A1 and A2 were charged of only murder and attempted murder and terrorism. And that was different from cheap hardware and shoppers, capital city shoppers in Kanyanya. But today they combined all of them, which to us under the law, we say it amounts to a defective amendment or a defective indictment. We objected on it, and this honorable court has allowed the same. However, in allowing the same, the matter was adjourned for 15 minutes. Upon the lapse of 15 plus minutes, we appeared in court with an amended charge sheet. The amended charge sheet, we still objected on it because it had not been consented by the DPP as the law states so.
Now coming up, sports news and business news right after this short commercial break.
Enjoy convenience today with Airtel Money School Pay, FlexiPay, or Bridge Schools. To pay school fees using FlexiPay, dial *185#. Select option 6 School Fees. Select option 3 FlexiPay. Enter the school code. Enter the student number. Enter the amount. Enter the PIN number to complete payment. Pay school fees conveniently using Airtel Money. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Parents, guardians and caregivers, there's a confirmed polio outbreak in Kampala, and therefore the Ministry of Health will conduct a national house-to-house polio immunization campaign. The first round of the campaign will take place from Friday, the 14th of January to Sunday, the 16th of January 2022 in all districts of Uganda. During the national house-to-house polio immunization campaign, health workers will come to your homes and immunize all your children under 5 years of age. Please note that the national house-to-house polio immunization campaign does not replace the routine immunization. The polio vaccine is safe, effective, and free.
Parents, guardians and caregivers, please ensure that all your children under 5 years of age are immunized against polio during the National House-to-House Immunization Campaign from Friday 14th January to Sunday 16th January 2022. The dates for the second round of the campaign will be announced in due course. This message is from the Ministry of Health with support from UNICEF, World Health Organization and partners.
The Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, in partnership with the International Growth Center, IGC, and UK Aid, will host the 5th Economic Growth Forum on the 13th of January 2022 under the theme Economic Resilience, Recovery and Resurgent Growth. The forum will reflect on the state of Uganda's economy during the COVID-19 pandemic and suggest measures for resurgent growth while remaining mindful of the environmental sustainability. Speakers at the forum will particularly examine the instruments Uganda can apply to protect the economy against global shocks, global trade in pandemic times and its implications for Uganda, policy means of encouraging inclusive growth, as well as the global perspective and domestic outlook on different energy options. Proposals from the forum will inform short, medium and long-term interventions required for economic recovery and growth to enable Uganda achieve middle-income status. The keynote speakers at this forum include Ramadhan Gobi, Permanent Secretary, Secretary to the Treasury, Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development; Dr. Michael Atingi Ego, a Ugandan economist and Deputy Governor, Bank of Uganda; Professor Nicholas Stan, a Professor of Economics, Chairman of the Grantham Research Institute on Climate Change and the Environment; Professor Santa Devarajan, a Professor of Development Economics from Georgetown University of Edumand. Physical attendance is by invitation only, while online participation can follow the link to register.
This event will broadcast live on NBS TV and UBC TV at 9:30 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. on 13th January 2022 from Kampala Serena Hotel. You can join the conversation using the hashtag EconGrowthUG22.
You know, you could just buy a new smartphone from anywhere in Uganda. Dial *175*94# to activate a 100% double data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles for 3 months. Better yet, you automatically receive free 1 GB valid for 30 days. You are hooked already, aren't you? Enjoy a 100% double data bonus from Airtel. Buy a smartphone from anywhere in Uganda and insert an Airtel SIM card. Dial *175*94# to activate a 100% data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles, valid for 3 months. Dial *175# and select your preferred bundle to activate a 100% data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles, valid for 3 months. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Everyone deserves more this festive season, which is why MTN Momo is giving you more Senkyu points on your MTN Momo withdrawals at agent locations. Get 150 Senkyu points for every 1,000 shillings spent in withdrawal fees. More Senkyu points means you get more free minutes, more free MBs, more free SMSs, and more free Momo Pay shopping. To use your Senkyu points, dial *141#.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Welcome back to UBC News Tonight. Today on the 11th of January 2020, in our business stories, members of 13 service unions have converged in Kampala to forge ways of making a coordinated move for the betterment of government workers. Now this follows the need of members from Uganda Profession Science Teachers Union to break away from the union. Sudat Kaye with a report.
The representation of Uganda Profession Science Teachers Union by the Labour Union has sparked a breakout of scientists from the Public Union. Elong Vincent, the national chairman, Uganda Profession Teachers Science Union, alleges that government earmarked 60,000 people, including science teachers, but were misrepresented.
Our position is government has approved the salaries. We have unions that are weak in negotiation. They only wait to put government on pressure when government has, through research, has come up with a plan, knowing that these groups, when we boost their salary enhancement, it will boost what? The economy.
Elong says science teachers, lecturers had to emerge due to the incompetence of the collective bargaining agreement.
First of all, we don't trust it because the first implementation on our part, it has never worked. Even the figure they agreed after saying that they are going to distribute equally, we have the CBA, they said the first phase they implemented for all groups. But when it came to science teachers, this one of diploma, this one in schools, they only gave us 1.4 million, but when it comes to paying, they gave 1.1 and later they increased to 1.2. So we've never seen any positivity on the CBA, because even what we are supposed to get, we have never got.
He says traditional unions must think ahead and push for a salary review, allocate and distribute the wage fund drawn from the consolidated fund, but as science teachers not being selfish.
We are not selfish in any way. We know that at the moment, government has come up and said that they are implementing now because of COVID. They first want to pick a particular group and then they come back and elevate this. I think that is the position of government. So for us, we see, like now in the medical fraternity, when they implemented money for intern, they gave them 2.5 million with the hope that the doctors will get 5 million. They are not yet getting, but the doctors came and pushed them and helped them to what? To achieve that.
The chairperson, Uganda Public Service Union, Justice Cherop Kiplangat, says there is need to review the working relationship with government, putting focus on the collective bargaining agreement, which is due to expire.
The CBA, which was signed, was implemented halfway. It has not been implemented as agreed by government. So some part was not implemented. So we are saying that come now 2022, we need a full implementation of CBA.
The chairperson, National Organizations of Trade Unions, Wilson Owere, says there is need of the Public Service Union to air out their differences with an orderly representation.
The biggest employer in this country is the government, and the government is well positioned. It has powers, and we want them to understand that how do they position themselves to lobby for the entire worker force. You see, once you lobby properly with the government, you can be able to get what you want.
Birungi Annette from Uganda Nurses and Midwives Union says government must understand that all her employees are equal when it comes to salary increment.
Because we have realized that they are calling a few people to discuss about salaries during this budgetary time, and it is not fair because we work in a group and we need government to be fair enough.
Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
Now, thank you so much for being a part of this. Thank you so much for being a part of the tonight UBC News Tonight. My name is Sharon Kyomugisha with Nakakon Elizabeth on Sign Language. We'll hand over right now to Barnes for you to get more about AFCON. Thank you, Barnes.
Thank you very much, Sharon Kyomugisha. I'm certain Ugandans have enjoyed the news because you looked simply nice. Now we are back to the soccer. We had the starter was Algeria against Sierra Leone. The main course was Nigeria against Egypt, but there needs to be a dessert. Kenneth Mwanga, Sudan, Guinea-Bissau. What should Ugandans expect?
This one is quite tricky because we are going to look at a team of Sudan coming from this part closer to Uganda, that is full of local players, and a Guinea-Bissau that is full of foreign-based players. A couple of few that have not started this game that are coming from Guinea-Bissau, but most of their players are foreign-based, and we are going to see a totally different game that we have seen in couple of both the games we have seen from Nigeria and Egypt, and the other one of Sierra Leone and Algeria. This one is totally different, and believe me, we might see a couple of goals in this game, because it is totally different teams with different approaches,
and they've got nothing to lose, importantly.
Of course.
Why don't they give us an open-ended football?
Therefore, looking at a Guinea-Bissau that has the flair of most of the Portuguese players that come from Portugal. They grew up there, but they just got citizenship of Guinea-Bissau. So it's going to be a cracker for me, and it's going to be this is one of the games that I believe we shall see more goals than the ones we have seen before.
Fifi, you talked about football being romantic and enjoying, really good for the eye, and the goals do play a big part. We've seen a goal in all other games save for that draw, Sierra Leone against Algeria. What do you think? You differ from Kenneth?
No, I don't want to differ from him, but allow me start my analysis in Luganda. Tubadde tukyali kugakapo okunywa amata endiga egenda walampa ekisenge. We're just talking about Sierra Leone qualifying and Uganda not qualifying. But what about Sudan and Equatorial and Guinea-Bissau? Guinea-Bissau is ranked 150th. 105. South Sudan 125. Is 125
in the world.
Above 100, that's their rankings, but they qualified. Just like Kenneth said, for Guinea-Bissau, no home-based player in the starting lineup, and then for Sudan, only 2 players playing outside their leagues have qualified. So we are going to understand, when you play outside Africa, when you play outside your country, what do you get? But then leaving at that, as they qualified, Sudan edged South Africa 2-0 to qualify. South Africa don't qualify for the group. Then for Guinea-Bissau, on the last day they had to beat Congo-Brazzaville to qualify. So they are here because of a reason. Going to their kind of football, they have local coaches. But when you look, Sudan have Muhammad, who has about 10 goals. 10 goals. We have people who have come in AFCON, have 30 and above goals. But the top scorer of Sudan has 10. Then Piqueta, top scorer of Guinea-Bissau, has 7 goals. So, like you mentioned, not so many goals happened between the two, but they have met twice. And when they met, Guinea-Bissau won 4-2, I think, in the World Cup qualifiers.